Hi guys! Today we're going to do some doodle art for all different kinds of Christmas and holiday doodles. So I'm going to show you how to do a bunch of different doodles by drawing them all on one sheet of paper. So you can do that if you'd like, or maybe if you just want to draw one or two of them, that's totally fine too. So around this time I really like doodling while I'm watching Christmas movies or sitting by the Christmas tree, getting in the holiday spirit. So you could do doodles as well. It's kind of a calming, relaxing activity. But another cool thing is you can take one of these doodles and draw them on a Christmas card. So this is just a simple Christmas card. You could color it if you wanted. You could leave it black and white. So you can make lots of different Christmas cards inspired by these doodles. And then you can send them to your neighbors or your friends or your family, maybe that you don't get to see this year during Christmas time. So this is a really awesome art project to spread some joy. So I am going to be working in Sharpie just so that you can see my drawings really well from the camera. But if I were you, I would work in pencil first, and then you can always go over your drawing with Sharpie after. So I'm going to start with Santa. And so I use these little bumpy lines to make kind of a rectangle. So a long edge, a short edge, and then I close it. Do you see how that kind of looks like a rectangle? And then to make the hat, I start here and go all the way up like a rainbow and down. And on the other side, I'm just going to go down. And then I'm going to add a little puff ball. You can do just a circle if you'd like, or you can do these little scoop lines. It's up to you. Now to make Santa's beard, I'm going to go all the way around and back up. You can use these same kind of bumpy lines if you'd like, but I'm just going to do it just straight. Then I'm going to draw Santa's nose with a circle. I'm going to add a mustache on either side. And then to make Santa's face, I just make a straight line coming up from the mustache. That way the rest of it looks like his beard. And then you can add whatever type of eyes you would like. I sometimes leave a little bit of a white inside my eye so it looks like it's shiny. And there's a Santa. Okay, next I'm going to draw a cup of hot chocolate. So I'm going to start with a squished oval. That's going to be the top of my cup. Now I'm going to make the body of my cup, so I'm going to go around and back up. I'm going to add a handle. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker, so I'm going to do another line too. And then to make it look like there is really hot chocolate in there, I'm going to add a curved line on the inside, just like this. Do you see how now that looks like there's hot chocolate on the inside? I'm going to put a heart on my mug. You could also put a snowflake or any design you'd like. And then I'm going to add some steam so it really looks like hot chocolate. Nice. Okay, next I'm going to show you how to draw holly and berries. So I'm going to start with the berries. I'm going to draw 3 little circles, all touching. Then I'm going to make a line coming out from this side and a line coming out from this side. This will be the center of my holly leaves. Now holly leaves can be a little tricky, but I'll show you my trick. So I start here with you might want to turn your paper so that the line is flat, makes it a little bit easier. And I'm going to make a diagonal line coming up like that and a diagonal line coming down like that, almost like a mountain. And then in the middle, I'm going to make a curved line just like that. That's one side of my holly. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So diagonal line, and then a curved line. And it kind of looks like holly. You might even be able to fit 2 curved lines. All right, next I'm going to draw a reindeer. I'm actually going to show you how to draw 2 different reindeers on this big doodle page, but I think I'll start with my cartoon reindeer. So I'm going to start with kind of an oval shape. Then I'm going to add the nose, nice big nose, and if you want to make it look shiny, I add a little mark like that. Then I'm going to add the top of the head, coming around like a rainbow. Add the eyes, maybe a smile. Doesn't look like a reindeer yet. We need to give him some ears. And then for antlers, I make 2 curved lines to start off. And then 2 short little lines coming off of those. Just like that. So that's one way you can draw a reindeer, but I'll show you another one in a little bit. Next, I'm going to make kind of a stylized Christmas tree. So I'm going to start with the top of a triangle. And stylized means I'm kind of changing it a little bit. So it's not going to be realistic. It's kind of just a pretty way to draw a Christmas tree. So I'm actually going to connect these 2 bottom lines with a loop-de-loop line like this. Woo, woo, woo. Nice. And I'm going to add a couple more layers. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to take 2 diagonal lines and connect them with a loop-de-loop. I think this is kind of a cool way to draw a Christmas tree. You can keep going and make it as big as you'd like, but I like how it looks. I think it would look really nice on a card. And these little loop-de-loops almost look like Christmas lights to me. And then I'm going to add my stump. Next, I'm going to make a couple ornaments that are hanging from the top of my page. This is a really cool one to add to a card. So I'm going to start with my straight line down from the top. Then I'm going to make the top of a box. But for the bottom, I'm going to add those little scoops. It's kind of what the top of an ornament looks like. My first ornament is just going to be a circle. So I'm going to draw, well, kind of a wonky circle, but it'll be okay. Ooh, that almost looks like it's shining now. Happy little accident. And then we always want to add a design to our ornaments. So your design can be whatever you'd like. Let's see, maybe I'll do a snowflake on this one. Nice. I'm going to make another ornament over here. And whenever you draw a couple ornaments like this, you kind of want them to be at different heights. Maybe I'll make this one a little bit shorter. I'm going to start with that box, the top of the box, but then the bottom is that scoops. For this one, I'm going to make my ornament go out and then come back to a point. So it's going to be a long, skinny ornament. Try to make the other side as close to it as you can. It can be a little tricky. And then, of course, add some decorations. So I think that would look really nice on a card if you do a couple of them. Sometimes I also add a little bit of string onto it so it looks like the string kind of tied a bow. You can do that if you'd like, but you don't need to. So I think I'll just do 2 ornaments for this doodle page, but of course if you are only doing ornaments, that would look awesome to fill a whole side. Okay, now let me think. I think I'm going to add some presents here. So there's a couple simple ways to draw a present. Usually I start with a square or a rectangle. I'm just going to make this one simple, so 1 line down the middle, and then 2 bumps for the bow. And sometimes I draw the ends of the bow. Now, I like how presents look if they're kind of stacked. So let's put another one kind of tucked behind it. Maybe this one's long and skinny. And to make it look a little bit different than that present, I'm going to make this ribbon have 3 lions. And I'm going to make the bow a little bit different too. I'm just going to add a bunch of these skinny little lines. Nice. So 2 different kinds of bows. I like to do that when I'm making presents. I make them all a little bit different. Next, I'm gonna make kind of a stylized wreath. So again, this one is kind of a different way of drawing a wreath. It's not accurate, it's not exactly how it'd look, but it's just kind of pretty. So I'm gonna start with my bow. So first I need a circle. Then I'm gonna add two shapes like this to make a bow. So it's almost like a rounded triangle. Sometimes in the middle of bows, I make little lines coming out like that, so that looks extra puffy. Then I'm gonna make the tails, or the two ends of the ribbon. Perfect. And now I'm gonna make my wreath, or at least the outline of it. So if you have something that you wanna trace, maybe even my lens cap. Oh, that looks like the perfect size actually. Sometimes it makes it a little bit easier. So I'm not gonna go all the way around. I'm gonna leave the top empty. So I'm gonna go around like that. Around like that. Let's see how it worked. Ah, pretty good. I have to go back and clean up the line a little bit. Okay, so since this is going to be stylized, I'm just going to make leaves. So I'm going to put a leaf shape on the end of each one of these lines. And I'm going to add couples of leaves all the way down. So a couple means I put one on this side and one on that side. And I like to add lines down the middle just to make it look a little bit more detailed. You can see that my leaves kind of look like they're in the shape of a V. One comes in this way, one comes in that way. Kind of looks like a V. Let's see, you can fit maybe one more here. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So I want you to think of this doodle page like it's a practice page. Because I guarantee if this is the first time that you're drawing these things, there's definitely going to be one that doesn't turn out the way you want it to. That happens to me when I'm learning how to draw new things all the time. So this is a practice. It does not have to look perfect. Because then when you're done, you can look at all of your doodles and pick which one you like the best and maybe practice it one more time and put it on a card. So don't worry if not all of these pictures look exactly like mine. You're just learning. It's okay if they look a little bit wonky. So cool, that's kind of like a stylized wreath. Next, I'm gonna show you how to draw kind of a stylized reindeer. So this is what I would say a cartoon reindeer. Now I'm gonna make a stylized reindeer. Maybe I'm gonna make this one up here. So the head shape is a little bit different. I'm gonna kind of turn my paper. The head shape starts with kind of this curved line. And then it goes down, curves, and comes back up. To me, it almost looks like the shape of a strawberry. It's kind of a triangle, but all the edges are rounded. Next, I'm going to add my nose. And I'm going to fill it in black and leave just a little bit white so it looks shiny. I'm going to add a straight line underneath with a little smile. Now from my nose, I'm going to go up with a curved line to kind of the corner of that rounded triangle. And do the same thing on the other side. All right. To make this stylized reindeer look cute, we're going to close their eyes. It also makes it a little bit easier because we don't have eyes to draw. I'm going to add two ears, and this time I'm going to use leaf shapes for the ears. For the antlers, very similar to our other one, I'm going to start with my two curved lines, but they're kind of short. They aren't huge antlers. And of course, add some lines on either side. And the last step that I think really makes this reindeer look cute is that we're going to fill in this area and the ears with short little lines. This almost makes the reindeer look like it's furry, which real reindeers are. They have hair all over their body because they live in such cold places. Real reindeers actually even have hair on their nose because they dig in the snow to find their food a lot. So take your time. If you rush this step, it'll end up looking really messy. So you need to have some patience to do this. But if you do have the patience, I think it ends up looking really cool. There we go. So that's kind of a cute way to make a reindeer, and again, that would look really pretty on a card like that. Let's see, next I think I'm going to draw some candles. So to make a candle, I'm going to start with a very skinny oval. And I think I'm going to do another one over here so that I have two candles. This one's the tall one, this one's the short one. I'm going to draw the sides of my candles going straight down. I'm going to add my flame, which is kind of like a raindrop shape, but then I add a wick, which is the line, the part that actually burns on a candle. And then I'm going to add some greenery and holly berries and maybe some spruce twigs to put at the bottom here because I think it looks really pretty. Next, I'm going to draw some Christmas lights. So Christmas lights are really fun. Once you learn how to draw them, you can add them to the borders of your letters to Santa or on cards. So you can make them go anywhere. I'm going to make my Christmas lights a string go around like this, maybe around there, and then out. So you can kind of make these Christmas lights fit whatever space you want. Cool, so I just started with a line. If that's a little bit tricky for you, just start with a straight line. Maybe I'll do one here. I'll do both. This will be a lot easier. So to make Christmas lights, you just make a little square. Sometimes I draw lines across. And then the Christmas light is actually a leaf shape, just like that. If you want to make it look like it's on, sometimes I add little shining lines. Nice. So you just do that same thing again and again all the way on your string of lights wherever you want it to go. Then it looks like there are Christmas lights. The hardest part of Christmas lights is to take your time though. Sometimes I rush and oh my gosh, by the end, they don't really look like this. So take your time, go nice and slow. Next, I'm going to show you how to draw kind of a cute little Christmas bear. So I'm going to start with the scarf. I'm just going to make a rectangle. Then I'm going to make the scarf ends go down like this. So just kind of make two little rectangles kind of tucked in behind each other. And then for the bear's head, I'm going to make a rainbow shape. Add little round ears for the bear. Gonna make the muzzle, so that's where his nose and mouth go. I'm gonna add the nose. You can add the mouth if you'd like, and some cute little eyes. That's how you can make kind of a wintry bear. So next I'm going to show you how to make a snowman. So I'm going to start with their toque. So I'm going to make a rectangle. And I'm going to add vertical lines on that rectangle. This is like the elastic band part of the toque. Then I'm going to make two curved lines almost like a rainbow but with a hole in the middle because that's where I'm going to put the pom-pom. And if you want, you can make it furry or fuzzy looking by making that a zigzag line. I'm going to make the face of my snowman. And to make it look like his body is stacked, for the next one, I'm going to start it right here. Same thing for the bigger ball. Do you see how that kind of makes the balls look like they're stacked and actually sitting on top? I'm going to add a carrot nose, little eyes, maybe a little smile because this is kind of like a cartoony one. You can add buttons if you like. You can add stick arms if you'd like. You could add mittens. That's the fun part about drawing snowmen, is you can really get creative as you want to make it your own. Okay, next I'm going to show you how to draw a stocking. A stocking can be a little tricky. I'm going to make the same kind of rectangle shape with the bumpy lines, but instead of making it straight, I want to make it on an angle. So you could turn your paper. That might help you make a diagonal rectangle, just like that. And then on each side, I'm going to make straight lines that go down. And then I'm going to add the toe of my stocking, just like that. Sometimes stockings have little curved lines to show where the toes and the heel would go. So you can add that if you'd like. And then I always add the little hanger. If you want, you could even add some things to the inside here. Maybe I'll add a candy cane. Giant one, oh my gosh. All right, the last thing I'm going to show you is how to draw a simple snowflake. So I start with an X, draw a straight line across, and then I just add the letter V to the end of each line. And you might need to turn your page if that will make it a little bit easier to make the letter V's if you just keep turning it. And then if you want to make it even more detailed, you could add another row of those letter V's. You can also add dots or swirly lines, whatever you want to make your snowflake special. So I think this looks really awesome as a doodle page, but of course, if yours doesn't look perfect, don't worry about it. This is your first time drawing something. Nothing ever turns out perfect the first time drawing, so it's okay if one of these drawings is looking a little bit wonky. So I like to do these doodles whether when I'm watching TV or sitting by the Christmas tree, just getting in the holiday spirit. But you could also just pick maybe one of these drawings and use it in a card to give to your neighbors or to send to your family members, because I'm sure that would make them so happy. A perfect way to spread cheer when we can't always be together in person.